All right, guys, welcome to Foreign Blood, Not Foreign Lives. This is the only content creator out there, and especially us African American content creators. We're going to do an unboxing. I'm not sure why they packed it like this. I got to see what's going on. These are 6 HP laptops. There's only one in each box, though. I'm not dragging all 6. They're identical. I'm not going to open them all. I don't know if I told you if you guys remember. I went and I helped 6 children get unenrolled from school due to pow violence and just gang violence and in the inner city schools. This is what's going on. So Granny is going to homeschool all 6 of these children. Granny's adjusting her work schedule, cutting it in half. I will go from working part-time to half of part-time. So I can so we're talking about 12 hours a week. I will be working so that way I can donate my time to homeschooling these children. You content creators make me so mad because here you guys have a chance to do so much good for others and you guys choose not to do it. You guys choose not to do it and it's sad. You have so much opportunity to change people's lives. You never know what you're going to do that counts. And you guys don't do it. So shame on you. You know what I mean? Shame on you. And I'm stick with that answer. Shame on you. That's the lowest form of. I watched my father. Let me tell you something. My father was a Caucasian man. Everybody wants me to be embarrassed because my father was a Caucasian man. Let me tell you something. Half of your men couldn't even touch my father. My father had the biggest heart, the biggest. I can't explain it. He wasn't no sucker. Don't get it twisted. But if humanity needed him, he did what he was supposed to do as a human being because he could. Not because he had to, because he could. If the situation was in front of him, he could. He would. I can't tell you how many times my father went to people's houses and they call and having some type of, I'm not going to tell you what type of business my dad had. It don't really matter. But say they called and they didn't have a lot of money. You know, you always got to get something looked at. And my dad would go over there and, you know, my dad has eyes. He just look around and, you know, my dad's a grown man. He's in heaven now. God rest his soul. But he could look around and tell if your pockets what they're supposed to be. He's in your house, so he sees your children. He sees your kitchen. You know, he sees. And there were a lot of times where my father would do jobs for free, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands worth of dollars of jobs. One job would be a $10,000-$20,000 job. And my dad would do it for free. You know, it could just be because the lady's elderly. You know, it could do whatever my dad's heart told him to do, he did. And I get that from him. So anyways, to make a long story short, you content creators are slacking. Your money's longer than Granny's. Let you tell it. You know, big bank, big pocket. So, wait a minute. Why aren't you helping in your community? Why am I the only one that gets on here and has something to say about what she did in her community for that day, that week? You guys have no glory stories. So what are we really living for? You know, there's life outside of your stuck-up ass and your family. You know, everything ain't about you. Everything's about what you put in your community, who you leave a mark on, who values that you were there in their life, you know, and I've done so much bad in my community at one point in time and so much bad to others, and I've treated people horribly. Do you hear me? What I see these content creators doing when they're trashing each other or trashing their spouses, that's nothing. I'm from the streets. I have tore up families. I've destructed lives. You know, I've helped parents not be able to be the parents they need to be. Being able, I've took money out of children's mouths. You know, not literally took money from them, but I've took it from their parents. You know, I've done a lot of destruction in the community. Meanwhile, which don't make it right, but I turn around and help somebody. When I was in that phase of my life, that same money that I took from a family, I turn around and spend it on another family to help them. You know, such and such is going to heaven and you ain't got the money. I got you. You know, back then it didn't mean nothing because that's what I did it for. I just didn't do it for my kids. You know, I did it because I wanted to help others. You ain't got food in the house? I got you. You ain't got rent money? I got you. You ain't got medicine money? Whatever it is, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, two wrongs don't make a right. I did a lot of wrong, and I admit to my wrongs. That's why I go so hard because I always felt bad about doing wrong. I was forced into a situation with two children. No, let me take that back. Take that back. Let me take that back. I wasn't forced into nothing. I laid up and had two children. One of my children had autism. One of my children at one point had cancer in the cervix. You know, I just had life like everybody else. Cancer cells in the, oh, it was a lot. I didn't want to be the type of woman to have to lay up with a man to pay her bills. I'm not saying what I did was right. Listen, I'm not saying that. But I was a pioneer. I chose not to lay up to get flamed up. You know, I didn't lay up for bills. I didn't do that. You know, I was a pioneer and went and ran with the men and in the streets because I didn't want to ask nobody. I didn't want to depend on nobody. I didn't want them. Was my children. I made them. I was going to take care of them by whatever means necessary. There was no lights getting cut off. There was no none of that. You know, the life that, you know, your kids end up living when you're grown because you got your shit together. I made sure my children lived that from day one, you know, and I prided myself on that. But in the same respect, I want you to understand this. That's why when Granny talks, y'all need to pay attention. Not as older women, because as older women know, this is for the younger people. That's why I want you guys to share my shit so the younger people can get it. Because, you know, even there's some my age that don't get it. It takes us all different times to grow up and whatever it is. But share my shit because I can teach somebody something. There is something to learn in every last video. But listen, I thought I was doing everything by providing that life for my children and sacrificing myself and not worrying about my education, not worrying about this, not worrying about this. I prided myself on my children not knowing the struggle. And let me tell you something. That's the worst thing I could have ever did. You don't hear me when I say that. That's the worst thing I could have ever did. An average man can't even date my daughter. An average woman can't even date my son. You know, you can't go from having a mom that offers you this certain type of life to just an average Joe Smo. It don't work like that, you know. They don't understand money the right way. It's smart, and I got smart, almost 40-year-old children. But when they were raised a certain way, certain struggles, certain things they were supposed to learn, they didn't learn because they had everything handed to them. So what I prided myself on sugarcoating shit and being able to pave my way through every problem and fixing this and doing this and having the help and doing this, it really ain't do shit but F them up more. Now you end up with spoiled brats that don't know nothing about nothing. But anyways, I don't want to waste my whole video on that. That's a whole nother. If you're willing to learn, let me know. But Granny ordered, oh, I see why they did all them different boxes. Now I see why it's 6 different boxes. So, Granny ordered 6 of these. I'm going to order 2 more. I don't think they big enough, but I want to see. This is for the children that Granny's going to be homeschooling. They have to have, I don't know if I got the right ones. That's why I ordered them so fast. They have to have a certain internet browser. Child, don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know nothing about computers. Oh my God, it's tinier than I thought. I didn't think about that. Oh, I don't like this. Yeah, that's why I got them ahead of time, because I wanted to make sure I got the right thing. Kind of small. I'm disappointed. I should have pulled out a tape measure and seen, you know, what size I was buying. So I'm not pleased with that. Oh, Granny almost cried. I wanted to get the right thing at the first time. I wanted to get them the right tablets. Oh, I'm such a horrible woman. But, you know, here it goes. I got 6 of these, all different colors. I'm going to order me one and order my children one when I get some more money. Granny's broke, but, yep. I got 5 more boxes over there. I see why they packaged it in the big boxes now. I'm like, why did they do one in every box? That's crazy. Okay, but anyways, just to show you, content creators, step your game up. This just ain't my black community. This your black community. Don't let this half-breed outdo you in your own community. That's all I'm saying.